William Moss, and I will be testing out the application that I designed for Professor Floor's programming class. And okay, so this is bchmerchantmaster.com, and this is actually bchmerchantmaster.com/final-aspx, and this is a web application that's a prototype, and it's designed to help merchants wishing to accept Bitcoin Cash and other cryptocurrencies as payment. This application makes use of a SQL database implemented through ASP.NET. It allows users to post potential items that they wish to sell, in addition to providing a means of tracking sales. Due to the volatile nature of cryptocurrency, it is important for merchants to have the ability to track the value of transactions at the time of a sale and compare it to current value. This is essential for both tax purposes and for tracking overall profits that have been generated. So, this application actually uses the CRUD programming that we learned in two different ways. And the first is to allow merchants to generate listings so that they can sell items and accept cryptocurrency for payment. So if you click there, it leads to this page, which is the listing launcher. And to create a listing, you click Create Listing. And I'm just going to go with this laptop here as an example. So it's the Asus VivoBook, and so that would go into the item name, and then for category it would be computers, and for crypto accepted I'm just going to go with BTC, which is Bitcoin, and the price in dollars is $509.99. And the price in crypto, to get that you could use a Bitcoin calculator. So 509 is 0.15 Bitcoin. And then the merchant will have to decide where they'll ship to. So let's say they're just going to ship to the USA for this example. And description of the item, let's say this is powerful used laptop with no visible damage, featuring a 3.7 gigahertz processor. And then the merchant's also going to need to enter an email so that they can choose where exactly they'd like somebody to contact them, so that they can say, hey, I'm interested in buying your laptop. So I'll just make up an email. And then there it is. There's the entry. So I have some other items here that I've entered before, such as a snowboard. The merchant there is accepting Bitcoin Cash, and they'll ship internationally. And then here I have a graphics card that was entered, a Zotac GeForce GTX 1080 Mini, and that merchant wants to accept Bitcoin SV. And so basically somebody could come to this screen and they could see what items are available for purchase, and then they could email the merchant and make an offer. Okay, so back to the other applications of the listing portion of the app. So in order, you can retrieve the listings by clicking here, and it brings up the same screen that we were just at previously, plus any new entries that have been made. And so next, let's take a look at updating a listing. Say for the one we just did, they want to add some more to the description, they could say it uses Windows 10 Home. And then let's say they got their email wrong, so they're actually at Yahoo. So yeah, now updated the entry, and it says now it uses Windows Home 10, and that could be beneficial because the customer might want to know exactly what operating system the laptop they're interested in will feature. And now it says joe@yahoo.com, so they'll be able to contact them at the proper email address. So, okay, now let's show the delete function of the listing. So let's say somebody makes a sale and they no longer want to have it on the site so they don't keep getting contacted about items they already sold. So let's say this guy who's selling tennis balls wants to delete that from the list. So simply just click on ID to delete it, and it's gone. No more tennis balls, so it's no longer featured on the site. Okay, so the other application of the CRUD programming that I added to this site is to track transactions, because once a transaction is made and two people make an exchange, it's important for the merchant to be able to go and reference that transaction later on, because say the price of the currency went down, then they can potentially write that off on their taxes. And also if it goes up, then they have to report it as a gain. So, okay, so click on this button and it leads to this screen, which is the transaction tracker launcher. And so go to create transaction, and the seller's going to have to put in their email. So I'll just make something up and then make something up for the buyer email as well. And then for the receive wallet, I'm going to actually go to this transaction right here, which happened on Bitcoin. So on the Block Explorer, they can view the transaction, and basically they can just take it. So this is the send address, and I'm going to put that in to the send wallet. So that's where the funds came from. And then they went to this receive address. And so I'm going to put that in the receive wallet. And then for transaction ID, this is a super important part, because you can come back to this Explorer months later and the transaction will be preserved. It'll show exactly who sent funds where and for what amount. And then for the crypto used, it's Bitcoin. And dollar amount, let me see. So the dollar amount was $675. And the crypto amount is 0.002. And then for the buyer address, this is where the goods were sent to. I'll just make something up like, I don't know. We'll just go with that. And so then they could insert this transaction, and then later on, when it comes time to pay taxes or report any losses that they'd experienced on the transaction, they can have easy reference of the sale. So there it is, and it comes up right here. And so yeah, they can come back here later on and reference their sale, so they know that, okay, Tim had a transaction with Freddie, funds were sent from this wallet to this wallet, and then here's the transaction ID. And just to demonstrate how this ID can be used on the Block Explorer, I'm going to highlight it. And so for transactions, you can actually just like come to the Block Explorer and 1 second. Yeah, you can just type in the transaction ID right here. And there's the transaction. So later on, this person could come and say, oh, hey, so this is how much it was for exactly. And let's say the price went up, then they know exactly how much money they made by accepting Bitcoin or money they lost so that they can report it. Okay, so now back to the transaction tracker launcher page. So if you want to retrieve the transactions later on, the user could just go here and there they are, which is useful for future reference. And so to update a transaction, the user can come here and say they got their email wrong. It was actually ted@gmail.com. And then let's say that it was actually for 7.3 Bitcoin. And then they forgot the zip code. So they can click update, and there you have it. It's updated. It's now 7.3 Bitcoin. The zip code's there, and it's ted@gmail.com. So next I'm going to show that you can delete a transaction. Say you did a transaction, but then it didn't go through, and later on you want to have anonymity about making this sale. So you can go here, and then you go to delete transaction, and I'll delete one of these. So number 10. And it's gone. So yeah, that's my web app, and that's what it does. So thank you very much.